have just spent the last 2 hours making a bracket that no one will ever see, tucked in under the dash for the accelerator pedal. So we're going fly-by-wire throttle. I always like having plenty of room because I've got big wide feet. There's nothing worse than when two pedals touch each other. And the other thing is make sure your foot doesn't rub on the kick panel all day because that can be a pain in the ass too. And I always like having the brake pedal slightly set back, and all the hot rods we do, we've always done it like that. We never keep them level. We keep the brake pedal slightly back towards the front of the seat, if you know what I mean. Just pulled apart my donor motor that we've got to use the cam holder assembly, you'd call it, for these K series that sit, they hold all the cams, and you'll see a better picture in another thing I'll do later. But that one there's buggered. Should sort of look, even that's a bit bad, but all the score marks, not ideal, so I've had to steal some out of another head, out of another engine that I've got. So we've stolen them out of there, now we're just cleaning everything up. Bit of a trade secret, I reckon it's probably not a trade secret, but that's what the rockers look like. They get all oil tarnished and they look pretty bad, and to try and clean them you can play with degreaser as long as you want. You'll never get them to come up too good. I use this stuff here. I reckon it's just paint stripper in a can, to be honest. And the way it cleans stuff up is pretty good. Just a bit of a tip. I forgot to say, real good for carbies. When you get the shit sits in the bottom of the bowl after years and years, you can use brake clean, carby clean, everything else under the sun. You spray a bit of this shit in, let it soak in for a while, and it's by far the best shit to use. Right, we're all together. Then I just got an email from the people in the States saying that my head comes with all this stuff, which in the photos it only showed a bare head and not all this cam stuff. So that was probably a good waste of a morning. Righto, I've just finished carving a bit out of here and here on the VTC cam gear, you'd call it. Once again, not telling you how to do it or going through it all. There's plenty of info on the net. It's going to be way easier to watch a better video. But all it does basically is allow this to turn inside of this part 40 degrees rather than 25 degrees for a bit more advance on the intake cam. Something they recommend doing. First time I've done it, but I'm believing them. Ta-da! Bolt that up, job done. Saved me about 800 bucks if I was to buy a new one from the States. So I think it was worth it. It's a cheap way to put 8 injectors into a manifold. I could have bought one of them fancy ones I see a lot of guys have got, and I do like them, to be honest. But this one fit in, and we probably won't go into the extent of horsepower we wanted at the beginning of the build is what we're sort of pushing for now. So we've got 8 2000cc injectors. It'll be plenty of fuel, way too much. But that's what the tuner wanted in it, so I'll just listen to him. So yeah, that was a bit of mucking around. The guy next door did that for me. Most of the work, we've just been playing around with the fuel rail, mounting that. So all happy days. The next piece of the puzzle we did today were the fuel lines themselves. So we've just got them sitting up there waiting to be terminated off. We use the existing little mounts under the body, up over the roll bar, just -6, 3/8 lines. That's what we're running on the Honda. We only had one 3/8 as a feed and a 5/16 return, which is 8mm, and that supported the horsepower we're playing with. So I'm just basing it sort of off that, and it should all be the same. Good little bulkhead fittings, keep everything neat and tidy, and then we've got flex lines inside that go up to the fuel cell. So we'll run a filter probably inside the boot. Bit of a gap. We've been playing with the front bumper. We've got one from an AE82 Corolla, which is the same as the headlights and indicators. So it was a bit narrow, but it was the best thing we could do without really mucking around. So we'll make an infill piece for that, probably out of fiberglass, I'd say. And then by the time the number plate and everything goes on, you won't notice it. It's a race car, it doesn't have to be perfect. We mucked around with a bit of a grille that'll all get powder coated black. Originally I was thinking all the front bar would be colour coded to the car, but being black I think doesn't look too bad. Let me know what you reckon. So the only thing is, if we do that black, then we'll also have to do the rear bar black, which is sitting over there ready to be painted basically. But at least it's all together. We're sort of starting to get the picture of what it's going to look like, so that's good to see. It's the end of another week, still no motor, but it has landed in Brisbane, so that's a good start. Big chance it could be tomorrow, but more looking like Monday. We finished mounting all the indicators, grill, all the front bumper. We made brackets up for that. It's probably a little bit hard to see on the car, but all the front end's basically finished now, so we'll send the grill away to get powder coated. And the indicators are ordered for the bumper as well, so it's all the front's sort of tidied up, which is good. It was something we started sort of at the beginning, and it's always, I don't like having shit half finished for months and months, but at least then we can get that done and move on to doing all the motor side and all the sensor side of life. We've got a lot of sensors in this box we've got to do, so I think all that, there's probably about 20 something sensors that'll be going on it, it's not more. So we've got a bit of stuff ready to go. That one's already for the EMAP, so that can get sent away for coating, same as the downpipe. All the water pump plate and everything's all there, so once the motor gets here we'll be right into it, so it'll be good to see.